Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Thursday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page so you can watch it on demand. Today is December 20th, 2018, and now the News at Noon.
From the Cortez Journal with a photo by Jerry Bride with the Herald and a photo courtesy of CDOT. A Silverton man who went missing last week was found dead Tuesday after his car was discovered 600 feet off Red Mountain Pass on U.S. Highway 550 between Silverton and Ouray. Lisa Schwantes, spokeswoman for the Colorado Department of Transportation, said Highway 550 between Silverton and Ouray closed at 11 a.m. Wednesday so crews could retrieve the vehicle. The work was completed just after 4 p.m. and the highway reopened about 5 p.m. According to the Ouray County Coroner Colleen Hollenbeck, 83-year-old Howard Drake failed to make it home from Montrose to Silverton on December 12th. He was last seen around 4:30 p.m. that day driving his red Chevy Equinox LT. For the past week, authorities had been searching the region for Drake, Hollenbeck said. On Tuesday, search crews took a drone on Red Mountain Pass near the Ruby Wall stretch of the highway and were able to fly the drone down the steep canyon and find Drake's red car. Drake was located around 2 p.m. Tuesday, Hollenbeck said. The highway was temporarily closed as his body was retrieved, which was complete around 5:30 p.m. Hollenbeck said the crash remains under investigation, but last Wednesday, the day Drake drove over Red Mountain Pass, it was snowing heavily.
Reported in the Journal file photo. A Cortez man who pleaded guilty to burglarizing a home and stealing $750 to $2,000 in property was sentenced on Tuesday to a deferred judgment and 24 months of state-supervised probation. He also will pay restitution. As a condition of a September 4th plea deal, Tyler Calhoun, age 26, pictured here, was ordered to complete inpatient treatment in Tennessee for drug abuse. With the treatment complete, Calhoun appeared in 22nd Judicial District Court on Tuesday for sentencing. He wore a collared shirt and had support from about 5 family members in the gallery. Judge Todd Plew asked defense attorney Jason Ely if he could speak directly to Calhoun to learn more about him. Ely did not object. In response to questions from Plew, Calhoun stated he grew up in the Cortez area and has an associate degree in drafting design from ITT Technical Institute in Phoenix. He said he hopes to find a job where he can travel, and he would like to move to Tennessee, where he recently completed treatment and found a sober community that he liked. Plew asked Calhoun his drug of choice. He said he started using heroin about 1.5 years ago. Plew asked if Calhoun would like to stay in Cortez, and Calhoun said he would not. The judge said many drug users find it difficult to stay in a community where they got into trouble. Several of his family members in the audience nodded their heads. Calhoun said that in Tennessee he has a sponsor and sober people who can help him make better decisions. Plew said he also has people who he can bounce ideas off of. We all need support, Plew said. We all do. Every single one of us. So that's a very valuable tool that you've learned. Plew then granted a deferred judgment sentence with 24 months of probation and random drug tests. Deputy District Attorney Matthew Margison said the victim was seeking restitution but is still working on compiling the full list and cost of items that have not been returned. Plew gave the victim 30 days to provide the cost of restitution. In his guilty plea, Calhoun admitted to trespassing and stealing from a property just east of Cortez on U.S. Highway 160. The 58-year-old property owner informed the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office that several items were missing from a metal shed, a wood shed, a silo, and a cellar that were left unlocked on his property. The stolen items have an estimated value of $7,720. According to an MCSO detective and an incident report, Calhoun discovered the unsecured property and proceeded to return several times during about 2 weeks in June with at least 5 others who also stole items. A sheriff's detective tracked down some of the stolen goods at Cortez Cash Pawn and Trade and found pawn receipts with their names. Detective Ricky Shaden told the Journal that some stolen goods were traded for illegal narcotics, mostly heroin. Plew stated he would allow Calhoun to move elsewhere in Colorado during probation, and once he's off probation, he can move to Tennessee if he chooses. He said, "Good luck to you, sir, and take this chance and do good."
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo of Chihaki. Stefan Chihaki pleaded guilty Tuesday in 22nd Judicial District Court to assaulting a Montezuma County Sheriff's deputy in November, then withdrew his plea after Judge Todd Plew declined to lower his bond. For pleading guilty to assaulting an officer, the District Attorney's Office offered Chihaki, age 27, a deal to dismiss two other cases, a Class 4 felony charge for allegedly providing false identifying information to an officer in October, and two Class 5 felony charges for allegedly trespassing a vehicle with the intent to commit crime and possession of burglary tools, also in October. But in withdrawing his guilty plea, Chihaki's three cases are now set for trial in March. The hearing Tuesday started normally with Chihaki standing in custody next to defense attorney Kenneth Pace. Plew read Chihaki a list of rights he would give up by pleading guilty, including the right to a jury trial. Then Pace told Plew that the plea deal included an agreement to reduce two $5,000 cash or surety bonds to personal recognizance bonds, which would allow Chihaki to leave jail without paying bond. Plew paused, then asked Pace where in the plea deal that was written. Mr. Pace, it seems like you are trying to sneak that one in there on me because I don't think I would have agreed to it, Plew said. District Attorney Will First assured Plew that the bond agreement had been reached during a waiver hearing and should have been included in the case paperwork. Plew asked how that would be appropriate given that Chihaki seems to be racking up cases. Plew noted that in one case, Chihaki allegedly fought with law enforcement and in another allegedly provided a false name to law enforcement. To me, it's a community issue, Plew said. If he's just admitted in open court that he fought with law enforcement when they tried to arrest him, I'm not willing to just cut him loose.
From the San Juan Record, courtesy photo. A San Juan County man was arrested by the FBI at a residence in Bluff at 6:30 a.m. on December 12th for the alleged murder of 31-year-old Antonio Montewine. The murder took place on April 13, 2018. Perry Maryboy was officially charged with second-degree felony murder on December 14th in a federal district court in Salt Lake City by Judge Dustin B. Peed. He is currently being held in police custody as he awaits a detention hearing December 20th. The 31-year-old Montewine of Santa Fe, New Mexico, was shot and killed at approximately 6 p.m. on April 13th on County Road 443, roughly 2.5 miles from Highway 191 south of Bluff in the Navajo Nation. Montewine's wife and 7-year-old son were first-hand witnesses of the murder. The murder took place after the Montewine family was out looking for a lost pet on the evening of April 13th on family-owned land. The family spotted a white truck with a male driver sitting inside texting. Due to past illegal dumping on the property, Montewine's wife asked him to confront the driver. Upon confronting the driver, an argument ensued, and eventually the driver of the white truck produced what he called a .38 and fired one shot into the air. Montewine tried to get into his vehicle after the initial shot was fired, and a second shot struck him in the back of the head. The driver of the vehicle then fled the scene immediately, according to court documents. In June, nearly 2 months after the murder, the FBI released a composite sketch of the suspect with a $1,000 reward for any information related to the murder of Montewine. In April, the suspect was described as being a Native American male with a medium build. He was believed to stand between 5'6" and 5'8", with an estimated weight between 150 and 170 pounds. The vehicle was described as a white truck with 4x4 decals on the side of the truck. According to charging documents, investigators received a text message from Montewine's wife on August 16th, 2018, stating that she had spotted the same white 4x4 truck on the Navajo Nation. She was able to provide FBI agents with a license plate number, and that license plate number was discovered to be registered to Linda Maryboy, the wife of Perry. After an interview was conducted by Special Agent Jared Girard of the FBI in August at Maryboy Construction with a member of the Maryboy family, Girard was told that Perry resembled the composite sketch. It was also revealed to Girard that Perry had been involved in an assault several years prior where a handgun was pulled on a family member and, quote, Maryboy then fired a total of approximately 5 rounds into the air and ground, according to the probable cause statement. Perry was arrested at the time by Navajo Nation police, and a .357 revolver involved was confiscated and later returned to Maryboy's brother on March 15th of 2017. On October 9th of 2018, investigators acquired a search warrant for Google location data on Perry's phone. The data placed his phone, quote, present at the location of the April 13th shooting from approximately 6:19 p.m. until 7:02 p.m. on April 13th, 2018. Based on the information obtained during this investigation, Gerard and the FBI believed there was enough probable cause to charge Maryboy with, quote, murder in the second degree while within Indian country. Due to the ongoing nature of the case, investigators are unable to reveal further details at this time. This is a developing story and that will be updated on the San Juan Journal as the case works through the court system in the coming weeks and months.
From the Durango Herald, the U.S. government told doctors Wednesday to consider prescribing medications that reverse overdoses to many more patients who take opioid painkillers in a move that could add more than $1 billion in healthcare costs. Assistant Secretary for Health Brett Giroir, a doctor appointed by President Donald Trump, announced the guidance, saying it's important for doctors to discuss overdose dangers with patients. Prescribing naloxone, such as Narcan, along with opioids, forces a conversation that will lead to a more informed decision by the patient, he said. The action comes a day after a close vote from a Food and Drug Administration expert panel endorsing the idea of rewriting opioid drug labels to include a naloxone recommendation for many or all patients. An FDA document said such a move could add more than $1 billion in healthcare costs. More than 47,600 Americans died of opioid overdoses last year, a toll that has been rising for 2 decades. The street drug fentanyl is the top killer today, but prescription painkillers are still a problem, contributing to nearly 15,000 overdose deaths last year. And now let's take a look at the weather.
So the National Weather Outlook includes severe storms possible across Florida today with locally heavy rain and possibly flooding in the southeast and mid-Atlantic. A system along the central Gulf Coast will continue to deepen with strong southerly winds ahead of the front and moisture coming up from near Central America, so that widespread rainfall of 1 to 2 inches and embedded thunderstorms are likely from the southeast into the mid-Atlantic area today, again with those flood watches in effect. Record mild temperatures into the northeast Friday, and another system will bring more rain and snow into the northwest today. The regional outlook shows gusty winds remaining possible in the high country until late this morning. Patchy clouds over the northern Colorado mountains. The upper ridge over California and Nevada progresses eastward today and should pass overhead this evening, with cirrus clouds spilling over the ridge and into our area today. High temperatures reach the 30s and 40s for most locations, with the exception of above the tree line in some spots. Tonight, the next system moves eastward over the Pacific Northwest. Most locations drop into the teens and 20s, while the usual high snow-covered valleys possibly will approach zero. I think we're talking about you, Gunnison. Tomorrow, the main system passes over Montana, Wyoming, while it may clip northern Colorado. With snow showers possible in the northern and central Colorado mountains, snowfall may be around 1 to 2 inches in the flat tops and park range above 10,000 feet by late Friday night. So our DCTV 5-day outlook. Today sunny with a high near 44. Tonight partly cloudy with a low around 22. Friday partly sunny with a high near 43. Again, light winds Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 25. Saturday mostly sunny with a high near 41, and expect those northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest with winds gusting a bit. Saturday night partly cloudy with a low around 21, and then pretty calm before Christmas. Sunday mostly sunny with a high near 40. Sunday night partly cloudy with a low around 22. Monday, Christmas Eve, partly sunny with a high near 39 degrees. Monday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 24. And Christmas Day, a chance of snow showers. Partly sunny with a high near 38 degrees. Tuesday night, a continued chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 21. And now, back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, Frank Lockwood, executive director of the Durango Area Tourism Office, has been suspended, but the chairwoman for the group's board of directors declined to comment about the matter. The suspension comes in the wake of disagreements Lockwood has had with the Durango City Council about how funds from the lodger's tax are spent, and the City Council's move to examine contracting tourism marketing out to another provider. Phoebe Ogden, chairwoman of Dato's board of directors, said the issue was a personal matter and declined to add further details about Lockwood's suspension. She added that the suspension is not interfering with tourism advertising campaigns for Durango. Lockwood, who was hired in April 2017, confirmed he received a written suspension notice Tuesday. He is suspended with pay with no end date set for the suspension. Before offering comment, Lockwood said he wanted to meet with various stakeholders to get more information about the action. Earlier this month, the Durango City Council began examining whether to replace the Durango Area Tourism Office with a different vendor to market the town to tourists.
Reported in the Journal, Sean Colon photos. With the exception of Grand Avenue and Main Street, all roads in Mancos now have a set speed limit of 20 miles an hour. Mancos Town Administrator Heather Alvarez said a standard speed limit on all town-owned roads is the final step in a street recommendation report produced by Durango engineering firm SGM in May of 2017. The report recommended removing or adding some stop signs in town at a cost of $1,625 and implementing a town-wide speed limit of 20 miles an hour at an estimated cost of $7,000. The changes are intended to reduce wear and tear on the town roads and improve traffic flow. Alvarez said the new speed limit went into effect November 15th. Before that, speed limits on town roads ranged between 15 miles an hour and 45. Alvarez said she hasn't heard much feedback about the change, but most people seem pleased with the new speed limit as Mancos is primarily a residential town. We did have a couple of places in town where there was excessive speeding, and I'm hoping, I haven't heard anything, I may be the last one to hear, but I haven't heard anything negative about it, Alvarez said. Most people are appreciative of it.
From the Cortez Journal, the search for a new Mancos Town Marshal has been narrowed down to 2 finalists, Boyd Neagle, a Cortez Police Department patrol officer, and Justin Goodall, a Montezuma County Sheriff's deputy. Mancos Town Administrator Heather Alvarez said she is very happy to have 2 qualified applicants who know the town and the county. Residents will have a chance to visit with Neagle and Goodall at a community meet and greet at the Mancos Community Center from 6 to 7 p.m. on Friday, December 28th. Alvarez said both candidates have passed several tests and procedural requirements and now have 3 final steps. Neagle and Goodall will undergo law enforcement oral board interviews, mixed panel interviews, and attend the community meet and greet. As the majority of a town marshal's job is interacting with the community, Alvarez said she definitely wants public input. Citizens will have 1 hour to ask the candidates questions. She said cookies and coffee will be served in an informal atmosphere. Residents will be given a piece of paper to choose their preferred candidate and provide any comments. As town administrator, Alvarez will make the final decision on the 2 finalists depending on when the final interview steps are wrapped up, and Alvarez makes the decision. The Mancos Town Board will either discuss the finalists or ratify the selected candidate at a meeting on January 9th.
From the Durango Herald, Jerry McBride file photo and courtesy. Colorado Senator Cory Gardner promised this week to continue the fight for federal marijuana legalization after the Senate failed to vote on adding his states' right amendment to the sweeping criminal justice reform bill passed on Tuesday. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, objected to Gardner's move to call up the amendment he introduced earlier this week to the First Step Act, which will ease federal punitive prison sentences in an effort to pass language that mirrors Gardner's states' Right Act. According to a news release this week, Gardner co-authored the act with Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts, in June to amend the Controlled Substances Act so that states or Native American tribes can opt out of federal provisions criminalizing marijuana, allowing them to legalize the substance. Gardner said in a Wednesday statement that he voted yes for the First Step Act, but would continue to push for his bipartisan act to receive a vote in the Senate. Gardner said his amendment would have ensured each state has the right to determine the best approach to marijuana within its borders. He supported the final criminal justice reform bill even without his amendment. He said, quote, because it will have a real impact on how we help people re-enter society after they have served their sentence. Gardner spoke on the floor Tuesday as part of the debate on the bill after his amendment was blocked from a vote. Gardner said that although he did not vote for marijuana legalization in Colorado in 2012, he supported the voters' decision. Quote, I'm all for helping those that have paid their debt to society, but there are many for whom there should be no debt, Gardner said on the floor. But being from Colorado, it is hard to think about federal criminal justice reform without thinking about the biggest problem the federal criminal law creates, the refusal to respect the will of Coloradans when it comes to marijuana. Everyday Coloradans of good faith follow Colorado law to a T, yet they are still criminals in the eyes of the federal government. Gardner said federal policy on marijuana affects not only growers and retailers, but users as well, such as cancer patients or veterans using medical marijuana. The senator also discussed banking issues of third-party businesses interacting with the marijuana industry as a result of federal policy, which considers them money launderers and puts them at risk for asset forfeiture. The failure to include legislation leading to marijuana legalization comes after the Senate passed the Farm Bill earlier this month, which legalized another cannabis product, hemp. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, 39 states had already legalized hemp before the bill, and Gardner reminded the Senate that dozens of states, including Colorado, had also legalized marijuana in some form, meaning the body had to play catch-up to reflect state law.
From the Durango Herald, United Airlines will add seasonal flights to Houston and Chicago from Durango in June. It is the second expansion to seasonal service the airport has announced this month. American Airlines also plans to offer Saturday flights from Durango to Chicago O'Hare International Airport for the first time this summer from June 8th to August 17th. The expansions in service is a reflection of a healthy demand for air travel locally and nationally, said Tony Vicari, Director of Aviation at Durango-La Plata County Airport. It will also be a welcome expansion for many local travelers interested in new destinations, he said. He doesn't expect the airport to announce any more service expansions for 2019. United Airlines plans to offer a round-trip flight to George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston each Saturday from June 8th through October 26th on a 76-seat Embraer E-175 aircraft. United Airlines scheduled to Chicago O'Hare International Airport will mirror the Houston schedule. It will be served with a 70-seat, two-cabin Bombardier CRJ 700 aircraft. From Houston, passengers can connect to flights that service destinations throughout the southeastern United States and many cities in Latin America. The new connection to Chicago will provide connections to the Midwest, East Coast, and many international destinations.
Today's High Canyon Country Happenings. So this is a unique event this time of year. From 5:30 to 7:30, a Christmas Lights and Cookies Run is hosted by the Durango Running Company and the Durango Running Club. The second annual Christmas Lights and Cookie Run starts at Durango Running Company at 5:30 with cookies, possible prize for the best homemade cookies. Dressed in festive attire, ugly Christmas sweaters are highly encouraged, they say, and bring a headlamp and reflective gear. They say we'll enjoy a nice casual group run of around 3 miles to gawk at Christmas lights, then meet back at the store after the run to eat cookies and drink hot beverages. There'll be some cold ones too. And last night was the Dove Creek area Christmas Lighted Up competition judging. Also timed up with the turkey giveaway at the Rock and the elementary Christmas school program at the school. Plenty of locals were out milling around after dark or driving past decorated and lit up houses celebrating the festive spirit of the holiday. The Dove Creek Chamber gives out an award for residential and commercial properties, which will be announced on Saturday at the State Line Ugly Christmas Sweater Party, where there will be plenty of lights as VDJ Plus Ultra brings up the energy with music and lights so you can dance the night away. Photos of the area lighted displays will also be posted on the DC Chamber's Facebook page with the winners announced there as well. The party at the State Line starts at 9 p.m. And DC TV won't be broadcasting on Monday or Tuesday of next week, so from all of us at DC TV, we wish you and yours a wonderful holiday and a prosperous, healthy, and happy new year. And all of the happenings are posted on our DC TV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, give us an email or call. The email's dcbnnews@gmail.com and the phone number is 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area. And of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.